fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Oh, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I am going to play this video. It's going to be a sovereign citizen in court. It's going to be one of those cool sovereign citizens in court where, man, my dogs are not pleased right now. It's going to be a sovereign citizen in court where he just keeps going after the judge, and the judge basically doesn't let the officer talk because he thinks everything that the sovereign citizen is saying is just nonsensical. So he's like, yeah, I'm not going to let you ask the officer that if it doesn't make sense in a legal environment. And he keeps going for 43 minutes. We're going to watch this at, I believe it's like 1.15 speed because there are a lot of breaks, but it's just awful how, well, yeah, that'll work. That'll work. But it's just a lot of the judge telling the guy he's not special, but that he's special. And it doesn't go well for him. So just sit back and enjoy the video. Again, this one's got, I'm not going to say it's got some age on it. It's like a week or two old. I just haven't gotten a chance to actually stream it. So here we go.
Your date of birth? The date of birth for the defendant, March 2nd, 1985, but it is hearsay, as I'm unaware of my actual birthday.
You're unaware of your actual birthday?
The birthday for the defendant, the registered entity, I believe is...
For Tim Joseph Luna?
The date registered for that entity was March 14th, 1985. For the record, my name is Defendant Joseph Luna. It's spelled capital T, lowercase I, lowercase m, lowercase o.
So 30 seconds into this case, he's already saying, well, I don't really know when I was born, which is typical sovereign citizen bullshit.
O, lowercase t, lowercase e, lowercase o, Joseph, capital J, lowercase o, lowercase s, lowercase e, lowercase p, lowercase h, and of the family Luna, capital L, lowercase u, lowercase n, lowercase a.
You have a driver's license on you?
I have a passport.
Can I see your passport? And what I'm looking for, I know you've included it in some of your documents that you filed, but I can't find where it was. And the reason I'm asking it, because on the citation, it lists your date of birth as March 2nd, but you said it was March 14th.
Well, for the record, there's a difference between the living man and the entity that is the defendant.
I'm asking you your birthday, sir. I'm not trying to play any games or anything. Just what's your birthday?
I understand.
March 2nd is what your passport says, right?
Yes.
All right. We are set today for a civil traffic hearing, and this is regarding an allegation from February 1st of this year. There was one charge on the original citation. The allegation is no current registration under 282532A. Go ahead.
For the record, I take exception to being called Mr. Luna.
Okay, what do you want me to call you?
You can call me Timoteo or Tim Joseph.
Okay, so I'm going to call you Mr. Luna out of the sign of respect. I don't want to call you by your first name. Okay.
Well, for the record, what is the definition of Mr.?
It's a way of addressing males. Did you not? Do you want me just to call you Luna?
You can call me Tim.
Okay.
Allegedly, this is the mysterious Luna that keeps donating to Glenn Serio. Maybe his mom never threw him a birthday party. It's just crazy to me that there's like legitimate ways that a hospital has to document that your child was born, being a father of 5. But this guy and all sovereign citizens are like, well, they must have clearly lied about me specifically because conspiracy theory.
So, Tim, after the officer's done presenting his case, you'll have a chance to present your case. If after everything is said and done, the court feels that the scales are still equal, which is where they start, or tipped in your favor by any amount, that's when the court would enter a not responsible finding, and essentially the charge would be dismissed. Do you understand that?
I had a question.
Okay, my question to you first was, do you understand what I just went over?
I comprehend, yes.
Okay, what's your question?
My question is, when you say that the rules of evidence do not apply, what exactly does that mean? That the items that I've placed on the record are not going to be on the record?
We're going to talk about that in a second.
Now, you said that this was a civil and not a criminal?
Correct.
So, in a criminal, is that where an injured party is required?
I have no idea. It depends on the charge, right? So if there was an assault charge and the allegation was within...
if you guys honestly, let me make myself the bigger one for a second here. If you guys want to know the definition of crime, the legal definition of crime, I read it in my video from yesterday. I read it in the BSBT bot voice. It's like 2 minutes long. It's a clip from the Cornell Legal Information Institute. It's a great little clip. You have to deal with the broken system, broken trust voice, but you can get it there. And it's so easy to find on the internet, but these guys keep just making up their own definition for it. It's kind of wild.
Injury, there would be an injury, but this is civil. It has nothing to do with criminal, so we're not going to discuss that.
Okay, so civil would be more contractual in nature?
No, not necessarily. That's a form of a civil matter, is a contract dispute, but this is not a contract dispute.
So it's a civil matter, but it's not a contract dispute?
It's a civil traffic matter. It's punishable only by fines. You filed documents yesterday. You filed several documents in the case, but you filed a pack of documents yesterday. A packet, not a pack, a packet of documents that looks like they were filed in on the 6th, and I think these were part of that also, the 6th of May. And did you marked, I think on some of those, well, offer of evidence, offer of proof, and then you have some things marked as exhibits in here, is that correct?
Yes.
Those were things that you wanted to be considered by the court for today's proceedings?
This is the packet that you buy from your guru where, you know, hey, for the low price of $400, I will send you this packet that will get you free and clear from any legal trouble. When in fact, it's a bogus bit of cherry-picked sentences from Supreme Court decisions that will just get you in more trouble, and you just wasted $400. The dude who lives in a recliner in a shack in the woods, he is just blowing through your $400, and you get to go to jail. Yeah, Jonathan, I'll address that at some point during this video, but I do have something important to talk about at some point.
Those are things that I wish to be placed on the record for proof of offer of proof in case of appeal.
Okay. And so let's mark these on the back. It's a binder clipped packet because there are several documents in here. Is that a mosquito? Yeah, I saw it flying around too. I tried to get it. Let's mark that as Defense Exhibit 1 on the back, so we don't cover up anything. And then when you want to talk about that, I'll give you a chance to talk about that. Officer, did you have any exhibits?
I do not.
Okay.
Quick question.
Okay.
By marking exhibit on the back, the blank back of the form, are you marking the blank paper as an exhibit, or are you marking each paperwork that is?
You have several pages in there. It's clipped with the binder, okay? It's one packet. I'm considering that one exhibit.
Okay, could you please mark the front as an exhibit instead of the blank back?
So if you can place that marker on the front without covering up anything that's written on there.
Thank you.
The reason I asked you to put it on the back is because I didn't want to cover up anything that was written on the front. That's why. It has no legal significance other than that.
I just wanted to make sure that the exhibit wasn't a blank page. So.
No, it's a packet. The record's clear. It's a packet that you submitted yesterday that has been binder clipped into one large packet. We are not marking every page of that packet. All right. Okay, any questions before we begin?
No.
Okay. Do you plan on providing testimony today, Tim?
No, I just plan on asking some questions.
Okay. So, officer, if you'll stand up, I'll give you a chance to ask those questions after he testifies. If you have your right hand raised, do you swear or affirm, Officer Mendez, that the testimony you're going to provide in today's hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay. You can be seated, and then you may begin with your testimony when you're ready, sir.
Yes. Good morning, Your Honor. Again, my name is Officer Jose Mendez, 2145, currently assigned to the Avenue Police Traffic Unit as a motor officer. On February 1st, 2024, at approximately 0939 hours, I was in the area of Dizer Road and McDowell Road. I observed a silver and colored Toyota Camry also traveling northbound on Dizer Road in the number 3 lane of travel. As I was approaching the vehicle, I observed the license plate to have an expired tag displaying January 2020. Due to observing the expired tag, I conducted a registration check and the license plate return expired with the date of January 15th, 2020. Due to the expired registration, I conducted a traffic stop on the vehicle, activated my red and blue lights, and the vehicle came to a stop on Dizer Road and in Canton Boulevard just east.
And like I said, I believe this is actually from a few weeks ago. So I believe that his thing was expired for like 5 years.
I made a driver's side approach and contacted the driver, advising him for the reason for my stop was for the expired registration. I then asked the driver for his driver's license and registration, to which he did not provide and advised me he invoked his Fifth Amendment right. Okay? So the driver then provided me with a yellow manila envelope, and it contained miscellaneous paperwork, but it also included a government-issued passport, which identified the driver as Tim Joseph Luna, with the date of birth of March 2nd, 1985. Due to having a government-issued identification, I then conducted a driver license check with the listed name and returned with the valid driver's license. I checked the driver license photograph and it matched Tim.
The driver of the vehicle.
The driver of the vehicle. So
let me make myself large again. So I've talked about this at length. If I have your name and your date of birth, and shit, he has a picture because it's his passport, I can find out almost anything about you when I worked at the police department. I could literally put in your name, put in your date of birth. It would come back. If you had a driver's license, the status of that license, if you had any warrants, your last few addresses, phone numbers, yada, yada. I could find all that out. So the fact that he's trying to, well, I had just a passport and he went and dug and saw if I had a driver's license. No shit. I think a driver's license would be the first thing that pops up once you look somebody up like that. A few weeks ago, it's odd. The shield is still up in front of the judge. It's not matter, but that's what I noticed. Well, now I got it. Oh, so a bunch of places, I know in Detroit, they installed them and then they're just like, they're here now.
Furthermore, I then issued Mr. Luna a citation for ARS 28-2532A, which is no current registration, due to the fact that the registration was expired on January 15, 2020.
Also, I think, so again, let me make myself large. Actually, you know what? Let's make this large because that makes more sense. I think a lot of places that have installed those, because this one isn't just like a flimsy one. This looks like it's on metal posts. I believe they're also leaving those up. If I was a conspiracy theorist here, because of what happened in, what was it, Vegas, where the dude like launched himself over the bench to attack the judge. I feel like now they're there. They're just like, hey, this is also just an added layer of security.
Tim, do you have questions for Officer Mendez?
Yes. What color did you say the vehicle was?
It appeared silver in color.
Okay. And then, what were the two well, first off, you mentioned that I invoked my Fifth Amendment, correct?
Correct.
Did I also invoke my First Amendment?
You never advised anything about First Amendment. All you said, I invoked my Fifth Amendment right, and then you advised me that you were also recording.
Okay. The First Amendment to record the interaction. Now, you also said that you received some documents. What were those documents?
I scanned through those documents, so I really didn't read the documents because I was looking for some kind of identification, and that's when I located your passport inside the manila envelope.
Do you recall what the documents were?
I do not.
Okay. Are you able to make legal determinations?
Legal determinations on what? Can you specify that question?
Legal determinations such as determinations regarding legal action, such as the elements of a cause of action.
Well, when I made contact with you, the reason for my stop was for your violation of having expired registration. So that was my legal stop for you to make in contact with you. So yes, so I made a legal action because of that traffic violation.
Okay, what are the three elements of a cause of action?
I don't know.
What is the definition of driver?
Somebody that's in possession of a vehicle and is operating a vehicle.
Is it a commercial definition?
I don't know.
Was the defendant operating in commerce?
I don't know.
Did the defendant have any passengers in the vehicle?
No passengers.
Did the defendant have any kind of cargo that they were hauling from one place to another?
I don't know if he had any cargo.
Now, did you receive the mailing that was submitted to, let me see, where's that? Did you receive the mailing, register mail number RF 186577555 US that was mailed to the Avondale Police Department, 11485 West Civic Center Drive, Avondale, Arizona?
Yes, that mail was turned over to our command staff.
Okay. Did anybody provide full disclosure, which was requested in that mailing?
Sir, I'm going to interrupt you there. What's the relevance of this line of questioning?
In order to,
All right, so this is where the sovereign citizen thinks he's cooking. He's scrolling through. He's like, "Yep, I'm cooking. I got this, officer. He's fried." But the judge is actually going to start cooking here. This is where I said at the beginning of the video, the judge is just going to say, "Hey, does that have any relevance to this at all?" Because it seems like you're going all this way just to talk about something that this case isn't about, and it starts 12 minutes into the video.
in order to understand the nature and cause of these proceedings.
In order for you to understand the nature and cause of these proceedings?
Yes.
That's why you have to ask him questions about if he received a packet that you sent him?
Yeah, because some of the questions in there were regarding if there was an injured party, what the bond information for the officer, and I can actually read these off.
I don't need you to. If they're part of your packet, that's included in that exhibit that we're going to talk about in a second. So I don't find this to be relevant towards this charge in this civil traffic matter. So do you have another question for Officer Mendez?
Did you receive the conditional acceptance?
Conditional acceptance is, which is what? Something you sent him in the mail?
For the ticket?
Yeah. Something that you mailed to the officer in the mail?
Yes.
Okay. I don't find that to be relevant towards this charge, the civil traffic charge that was issued.
Okay. Do you recall me asking if there was an injured party?
Yes. You asked me if there was an injured party, and I told you no.
Okay. Do you recall informing you that I had conditionally accepted it?
Yes.
Okay. For the record, the conditional acceptance and the documents that were submitted were part of that conditional acceptance. I requested full disclosure and proof of claim. Did you receive the affidavit?
What's the relevance of that?
It was the affidavit in regards to the traffic stop.
Okay, but it was an affidavit in regards to your claim or your questioning of his claim of the traffic stop. Is that correct?
No, not in regards to the questioning, just an affidavit of what happened.
Okay.
And it was,
That was filed by you, that was sent by you?
yes, it was sent to both the court as well as to Officer Mendez.
All right, and what's the relevance of that?
It remained unanswered.
An affidavit remained unanswered?
Yes.
Okay, I don't find that relevant in this proceeding, so do you have another question for the officer?
Yeah. What was the definition of automobile?
Say that again?
What is the definition of automobile?
What's the relevance of that?
To determine whether it was whether the defendant was operating in commerce or whether they were traveling upon the road.
What's the relevance of that? He testified that you were operating a motor vehicle.
Okay, well then what's the definition of operating?
Officer, do you want to answer that?
When you're operating a vehicle, is you are in full control of the vehicle, meaning that you have a gas pedal, you have a brake, you have a steering wheel, so you are moving the vehicle on your own.
Okay, is that term the legal definition?
No, that's just that's something that I just said right now.
Okay. Are we speaking in regular English grammar, or is there also legalese and
I'm speaking English.
regular English? Okay, so I'm requesting the definition of an automobile and a motor vehicle, and I'd like to know whether the court is using the regular English definition or they're using the legalese definition.
So motor vehicle is defined under 28-101, paragraph 50. Motor vehicle means under A, means either A1, self-propelled vehicle, A2, for the purposes of the law relating to the imposition of a tax on a motor vehicle, a vehicle that is operated on the highways of the state and that is propelled by the use of motor vehicle fuel. Under B, either one of those, sorry. So that would be the motor vehicle definition.
Okay, so
I genuinely love how the judge has it right there in black and white. Hey, yeah, this is why you're fucking wrong. Fix yourself. And he does this the entire time. Like I've been doing this for 5 years. I've been covering sovereign citizens for 5 years. I've been watching them for like a decade. And the fact that they have gotten fried from their inception in like what, 1971, I think is the earliest date I found. They've been getting fried since 1971. It is 2025, about to be 2026, and they are still getting fried. At what point do they have to take a step back and go, we never win this shit. Why do we keep trying? But then we all know that January 2026, we're going to find a new dumbass sovereign citizen who's like, I'm going to be the one. I am going to be the white whale. I'm going to be the first to make this work. And then shocker, he's still not going to make it work at all.
Is there a different definition than automobile?
I don't see an automobile.
Okay. And then what about the definition of operator or operating?
Operator means a person who drives a motor vehicle on a highway, who is in actual physical control of the motor vehicle on a highway, or who is exercising control over or steering a vehicle being towed by a motor vehicle. That's under 28101, paragraph 58.
Okay. Is operating, is that a let's see here. Are you familiar with the case Newville versus Union Indemnity Code?
No. Do you have any other questions for the officer?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What's the difference, or what's the definition of travel?
What's the relevance of that?
To understand whether one was the defendant was exercising his right to travel versus operating in commerce.
Okay. There's no legal distinction that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I cut off the judge already. Yes, he's trying to come at this so intellectually dishonest. Well, I was either using my right to travel or doing this thing that I wasn't really doing. He's trying to frame it so poorly that he makes himself look correct. Because some sovereign citizen guru probably sat him down in person on Zoom over the phone and said, hey, this is how you have to word things, because it's all about word games. This is how you have to word things to get away with everything. And it's like, you can't frame your question illogically.
Would differentiate either of those for this civil traffic proceeding. So I don't find that to be a relevant question. Do you have another question for the officer?
What was the definition of driver?
What's the relevance of that? I don't think there is a definition for driver under here. It was operator that I read you the definition of.
To determine the distinction between a driver and a traveler?
Hold on. Drivers under 28101, paragraph 25. Driver means a person who drives or has an actual physical control of a vehicle. Any other questions for the officer?
What's the definition of traffic?
Traffic?
Yes.
What's the relevance of that?
I'm trying to determine whether it's the regular English definition or whether this is a legalese definition.
Under where? What do you mean for traffic? Where was traffic utilized?
Officer Mendez
Yes.
stated that he did a traffic stop and that the defendant...
What do you mean by a traffic stop, officer?
And I'm going to pause it right here because, yes, it's really that easy. Because they just want to make sure you get it done. You were ticketed, you got it fixed, you went to court, and they said, yeah, all right, cool story. So I say this all the time when people get pulled over for, like, taillights. It's like, okay, fix it. And where I worked, you could literally go to any police department, have them sign off on it, and then just bring the ticket to the police department. And they would say, you're good to go. You got it fixed. It was a fix-it ticket. It's just like you used common sense and it worked out for you. And that common sense is something that sovereign citizens just do not have the capability of using. But no, like, great example in this video as we sit right now. Common sense. What is a traffic stop? Sir, you were old enough to drive. You're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, whatever. and you're struggling with the term traffic stop. Like use your brain.
When we conduct a traffic stop, if a driver commits a violation on ARS Title 28, we conduct traffic stops, meaning that it's a traffic violation and we're stopping that vehicle for that traffic violation.
Okay. Any other questions for the officer?
Does it have anything to do with commerce, trade, sale, or exchange of merchandise, bills, money, or any other?
And the court's making a legal determination that any of those are irrelevant, no matter how the officer answers that question, that would be irrelevant to this civil traffic matter. So do you have another question for the officer?
Okay, so are we utilizing the legal definitions in this court?
I don't, legal definition of what? I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm just requesting that if it's regular English or the legal definition, because you just said you made the legal determination.
I made a legal determination that no matter how the officer would have answered that question, it wasn't relevant to this civil traffic. You're asking him questions about commerce and travel and whether or not there was cargo in the vehicle. None of those, I'm making a finding, and I have on the record earlier, none of that is relevant for this civil traffic allegation that was issued to you and what the purpose of this hearing is for.
So does the defendant have the right to travel freely?
I don't know what you mean by that, but I'm not going to debate this with you. Let's focus on this hearing first. So if you have any other questions for the officer.
Okay, what is the definition of license?
What's the relevance of that? You didn't provide him a license. His testimony was he used your information off your passport. He was able to determine you had a license. But what's the relevance of that? No charges dealt with the license in this case. So what's the relevance of that?
To determine whether the defendant was operating in commerce or whether they were traveling freely upon the road.
Okay, and under either of those circumstances, the court's finding that it would be irrelevant. It doesn't matter for this civil traffic charge. Whether you were traveling freely or whether you were in commerce, the allegation is that you didn't have valid registration and you were operating your motor vehicle on the city streets here in the city of Avondale. That's the allegation. And so I'm making a finding that whether you're traveling freely or operating in commerce makes no distinction to this civil traffic charge. So I'm finding that that's irrelevant, that line of questioning or that line of argument. Do you have another question for the officer?
He's reaching the end of his packet.
Yes. The city of Avondale, is that a legal entity?
Irrelevant. I don't think that's relevant for this matter.
Only to determine whether the geographical location of where the defendant was, if that is part of the city of Avondale, the corporate entity.
In the city limits, the officers testified based upon the officer's testimony, and if there's any, if you provide any testimony, I'll consider that. But what the officer testified to is that you were northbound on Dysart in the area of McDowell, and the traffic stop took place just north of McDowell. That's within the city of Avondale. So this court would have jurisdiction over a civil traffic matter in that location.
Womp womp.
Do you have any other questions for the officer?
Yes, but every question that I ask is being answered by you, not the officer.
If it's not a relevant question, I'm not going to let him answer it.
Is the license a privilege?
What's the relevance of that for this charge? There were no charges on this citation or in this case that deal with license. Deals with the registration of the vehicle. There's just one charge on your citation.
The reasoning for the question is to determine whether the legal definitions are being used or the regular English definitions are being used.
It's irrelevant. There's no license issue in this matter. He didn't charge you for driving on a suspended license or driving without a valid license or having the improper license. There's no license charge in this matter. So I don't find that to be relevant.
So how does he acquire jurisdiction?
What do you mean jurisdiction?
How did he acquire the license that was?
How did he acquire jurisdiction? Well, he works in the jurisdiction where you were at, where you were where you got pulled over. It seems very clear. Again, I'm just going to get in 2 years when I'm still doing this, I'm just going to be uberly frustrated in every single video. Yeah, it was for of invalid registration because it had been expired for 5 years. I believe they said it expired January 15th or 16th of 2020. But yeah, I'm just getting really frustrated because like I said earlier, this shit has been getting smacked down since 1971. And this guy in 2025 is like, oh, Why is all of this nonsense not working? And in this case, it's not even relevant. Like, if you got a suspended license and you wanted to argue the right to travel, go for it. It's not going to work, but go for it. He's basically asking what the officer had for breakfast that morning. It has no relevance to the case.
Was the license number that was placed on the contract citation?
You're asking how he got your driver's license number?
Yes.
Okay. Officer, can you state how you got his driver's license number to complete the citation?
Yes, once I received your passport, which is a legal document, government issued identification, I used your name, conducted a motor vehicle division driver license check, and returned with your driver's license information.
By utilizing the driver's license number, even though it wasn't provided to you, did you convert a right into a crime?
What's
No.
the relevance of that question?
Whether the right to travel is being converted to a crime?
You weren't charged with a criminal offense. You were charged with a civil traffic violation for not having proper registration under 282532A.
Okay, so the registration, was the registration in the name of the defendant?
No,
Who was the registration, what was the name under?
the registered owner of the vehicle is Divana Clevet Flores.
Am I responsible for the registration of a vehicle that does not belong to me?
If you're operating the motor vehicle.
And then that goes into the definition of operating, which
We covered that already.
I understand, but is it the regular English or is it the legalese?
I don't know what you're saying when you say regular English or legalese.
Well, then-
I told you, hold on. I'm trying to answer your question. I read.
So I believe the judge already read the statute definition for operate. But because it doesn't align with what this sovereign citizen wants, he's pretending that it's invalid.
to you the definition of operator under 28101, paragraph 58. I read that to you earlier into the record. Do you have other questions for Officer Mendez?
Yeah, but I was referring to I'm trying to understand the difference between a traveler, a driver, and an operator, and whether I am being, this civil traffic violation is in regards to if we're using regular English or if we're using the legalese definition of it.
Yeah, I don't know. The state's alleged that you violated this statute under 282532A for operating a motor vehicle without current registration. Do you have any other questions for the officer?
Yes.
Go ahead. Tim, do you have any other questions for the officer?
Yes, I'm trying to find it on my paperwork.
I'll give you a couple more minutes and then we need to conclude.
Did the defendant cause any kind of harm or damage to the plaintiff?
No.
He harmed me.
So there's no damages. Is there an affidavit of damages or injured party?
It's not relevant in this circumstance or this.
This is his attempt at reaching for the no victim, no crime nonsense, even though if you read the legal definition for crime, it does not say anything about no victim, no crime.
I have a case with a civil traffic allegation against you, Tim. Other questions for the officer, Tim?
Well, I'd asked it earlier, but this was also part of my request for disclosure that remained unanswered, was whether Officer Mendez had made that legal determination whether I was driving and not traveling.
And whether he says you were driving or was he driving the vehicle, officer?
Yes, Tim was driving the vehicle.
Was I not traveling?
You were operating the vehicle, so you were driving the vehicle on the roadway.
So you're making a legal determination that I was operating and driving a vehicle?
I'm going based on facts and circumstances that I observed on that traffic stop while you were moving the vehicle, and I was pacing you were traveling approximately 45 miles per hour.
Okay, so, and again, you're using regular English and not legalese?
English.
English, okay. And is,
Do you have other questions for the officer?
yeah, what, are you bonded and insured with the state?
What's the relevance of that?
It was part of my disclosure statement.
Right, but what, your disclosure statement, what was the relevance of that for a civil traffic allegation in this matter?
It's regarding this cause of action.
The cause of action was a civil traffic citation, a ticket that you received.
So it stems from where to begin. It stems from another misinterpretation of corpus delicti, where it means the body of crime, but in the legal context, it's the body of evidence that a crime took place. But because it's the body of the crime, if they don't have a physical body that was harmed, but it's just, if there's not a physical body that was harmed, they think that there's no crime that took place, even though lawyers will tell them they're wrong, judges will tell them they're wrong, law schools will tell them they're wrong. They just keep getting Latin terms just so fucking sideways. Yeah, and so many people, so many jurisdictions do offer community service. Where I worked, we had an entire community service department. But for some reason, they would rather make an ass of themselves and try to sovereign citizen their way out of tickets, which just doesn't. Somebody said this looks like wasted tax dollars. You're correct. The fact that this even had to get this far, because obviously this is the trial, which means there's hearings that took place, arraignment that took place. What am I looking for? Pre-trial conferences that took place. And because it's a sovereign citizen, there was probably several. Shane, how did I do that, you ask? I have no idea. You ask KTZ. She probably set it up, and then it's just like that forever now for our restream. But yeah, this is just tax dollars wasted, where this guy could have just said, can I go cut the grass or pick up trash somewhere for like 2 weekends and be fine? And they would have probably said yes.
I understand. And
Right.
it's based off of legal determinations that Officer Mendez has made.
So whether or not he's licensed or bonded is not relevant in this matter. So do you have another question for the officer?
Have you sworn an oath to the Constitution of the United States of America,
Yes.
including let me see, hold on just a second. Can there be any kind of rules or legislation that would abrogate the Constitution or the rights secured by the Constitution?
No.
So is it required for everyone of the people to be licensed and to have their mode of transportation registered?
If people are going to operate motor vehicles on the highways, the roads in Arizona, the public roadways in Arizona, they have to be licensed, they have to have insurance, they have to have registration for the vehicles.
Okay, motor vehicle and operating, that's where I'm having a somewhat of a misunderstanding.
Okay. Do you have other questions for the officer?
Yes. Can a sanction or penalty be imposed on one because of the exercise of a constitutional right?
I'm finding that that question is irrelevant for this hearing, for a civil traffic hearing. You've made your record, right? You're claiming that you have a right to travel under the Constitution, and that therefore that you can't be charged or cited with this violation. You've made that. That's on there. I'm not accepting that as a legal argument in this case. It's a civil traffic case. And so I'm finding that that argument's irrelevant, but it's part of your record, right? And so if I don't give you the outcome that you want, you can appeal, and it's part of your record already. But you keep going back and you keep asking these questions.
Well, it's to determine whether, like you said, you're making the legal determination, correct?
I'm making a legal determination that that's not relevant for a civil traffic hearing in this matter. That's correct.
And if it's regarding legal, I'm trying to understand whether we're using the legal definition or whether we're using English grammar, regular English grammar.
Okay, but that wasn't the point. You've made that point several times too, but that wasn't the point you were making just then. You were asking questions about whether or not you were considered traveling or not, right? And my decision is it doesn't matter whether you were traveling, right? If you were operating a motor vehicle, so whether you were traveling or not, I find that irrelevant in the context of this civil traffic matter.
Yeah, Troy, I 1000%. I think we talked about it a little bit before you got here. Somebody was in this situation. Their stuff was expired for not 5 years. Got a ticket for it, went and got it registered, showed up to court, said, hey, I got it registered. They said, cool, have fun, case dismissed, which I find that completely an acceptable solution to this. Because in all honesty, so this is the way I look at it. I would much rather have them get it registered and get it dismissed than it go to court, them get found guilty. What am I looking for? Them get found guilty. They get fined X amount of dollars and told that they have to actually register it, because more than likely they're just not going to get it registered, not going to pay the fine, play victim on the internet, and become a sovereign citizen guru because, oh, the state's out to get me because blah, blah, blah. So I would much rather have them come to court, say, yep, got it registered. And the judge says, cool beans, case dismissed. That's an outcome that I would be okay with.
You've submitted documents, you've asked several questions, your objection is preserved, that you can, if the decision is against you in this matter, you can appeal that at the next level.
Does the defendant have the right or privilege to travel?
It's not relevant for this proceeding. All right, officer, did you have any additional testimony based upon Tim's questions of you?
I do not, Your Honor. The only thing, like I said, he did have expired registration. It was verified through the Motor Vehicle Division, and it was confirmed expired 1/15 of 2020.
Okay. Tim, did you wish?
I need an aspirin or some rum before Mr. Lunatic goes on.
To provide testimony?
I forgot what channel I watched this on, but while I was watching it, I think I told you guys I have like a security tablet for all my cameras, all my smoke, fire, window break detectors in my kitchen. We also have it on our phones, but I can stream YouTube on that tablet while I'm doing things in the kitchen. I think I was cooking one day while listening to this, and that part just killed me in the middle of my kitchen because I was not expecting it.
This matter?
No, well, I guess, yeah, provide testimony in regards to the color of the vehicle.
Okay, so stand up and raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're going to provide in today's hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, go ahead and have a seat. You wanted to provide testimony regarding the color of the vehicle?
I'd like to provide some, let me see here, pictures. I have some extra copies of them as well.
Okay, how many pictures? Just one?
Yeah, it's one picture. I just got a couple different sizes. I don't know if you guys want a regular picture or a...
It's up to you. How many pictures are you putting in?
One picture.
Okay, if you'll bring that up, Ruby will mark that as Defendant's Exhibit 2. Just one picture? Is this all the same picture? Okay, so we can mark that on the back of that. And you want me to consider this, is that correct, sir?
Yeah, that the color of the vehicle was not silver. The color of the automobile, should I say?
Okay, anything else?
I just have some questions for the court, I guess.
Okay, but nothing else regarding testimony?
Well, okay, I'll say this, that I was not operating in commerce.
Okay.
There was no cargo. There was no passengers. There was no money or currency or whatever form of payment being made. And I'm unaware, I have no knowledge or evidence that this court is not using the legal definition of these words. And I have no knowledge or evidence that Officer Mendez is not making a legal determination based off of regular English words in comparison to legalese or the legal definition of words.
Okay. Anything else, sir?
No.
And we're not going off. This is, again, something that angers me. We all just watched this. The judge isn't going off of basic English. The officer said things like traffic stop, drive, blah, blah, blah. But then the judge read out the legal definition for like operate. But like I said before, because he disagrees with it, he's like, oh, that's not the legal definition. It's like, well, it sure shit is in the state of, what is this, Arizona? So you got to pick one. Are your terms correct? Or is your argument correct? And he's wrong on both counts, which I think is hilarious.
Other than just questions for the court.
Okay. Officer, did you have any testimony that you wanted to provide based upon Tim's testimony?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. So I've taken into consideration the testimony of Officer Mendez. I've taken into consideration the testimony of Tim Luna, the defendant in this matter. Defendant's Exhibit 2 was admitted, the single picture. The filings made by Mr. Luna on yesterday's date, which was May 6th, we have marked, as mentioned earlier, as Defendant's Exhibit 1. I reviewed those documents yesterday. I am going to admit those documents. However, the court does not find that they're relevant, but I am going to admit them to include them as part of the record for any purposes that Mr. Luna may find appropriate, okay?
Okay, so I hate to pause this right in the middle of them talking about this, but I know the go-to for sovereign citizens was Black's Law Dictionary, 2nd edition, because it was free online. And I know as of recently, they have moved on to a new one because it is now publicly available. The 5th edition is now free online for sovereign citizens. So I think they're jumping to Black's Law Dictionary, 5th edition, which is from 1970 something. So it's a hell of an upgrade from the 2nd edition, which was 1910, but I believe the 14th edition is from 2024. So they're still way behind on things.
But I did review those documents yesterday, and based upon the testimony that I've heard today in the hearing, based upon the testimony I've heard today during the hearing, I do not find what was included in Defense Exhibit 1 filed yesterday that's been marked and admitted to be relevant. So based upon the testimony that the court has heard and the exhibits as mentioned earlier, the court is going to find that the state has proven the allegation in this matter under count A, 282532A, by more than a preponderance of the evidence. And so I am finding Tim Luna responsible in this matter. The sanction is $603. There is an $18 court enhancement fee that's added. So that total comes to $621. Tim, are you able to pay that today, the $621, or do you need a payment plan?
I had some questions regarding the exhibits.
All right, I'm asking you. Okay, and then we'll address your question regarding the exhibit. Are you able to pay that $621 today, or do you need a payment plan?
How do, what form of payment or what form of currency, what form does the court require payment in?
Only gold and silver, Tim. Only gold and silver. No, it's that Marcus guy, Erica, that Marcus guy that's been like spam tagging me and things.
You can pay us in cash. You can pay us in a credit card if it's in your name. Yeah, so either one of those. So are you going to pay the $621 today, or do you need a payment plan?
Oh. Are you going to pay, yes or no?
Is it Is it lawful for the state to demand anything other than gold and silver as a...
I'm not asking that you pay this in gold and silver. Listen to my question. Are you paying the $621 today, or do you need a payment plan?
Well, I wish to make an offer of proof
About what?
for appeal
Okay, what's that?
that there was 22 exhibits, not just 2.
I don't know. The 22, are you referring to what was in your packet that
Shady gifted 1 membership, and Sherry K got the gifted membership. I appreciate it.
the court marked as Defendant's Exhibit 1?
Yes, and I just wish that the record reflect that it's not just 2 exhibits, but that there is 22 other exhibits included in the packet.
Okay.
I don't wish that the my documents are not placed on the record, so that way I can use those for the appeal.
Yeah. So if you heard what I stated earlier, we, instead of marking them all individually, I marked it as one packet. It's bound by a binder clip. It's everything that you dropped off that you filed yesterday with the court, May 6th. We marked it as Defense Exhibit 1, okay? That's how the court views it, as one exhibit. I know you think that there are, or you have marked in there that you've marked it as several exhibits. It's one exhibit, a large packet that you dropped off yesterday. It's all going to be in the record, right? So it was admitted. I believe, and I explained that on the record, that it was not relevant to today's hearing and today's charge, but I've admitted it to include it for appeal purposes, okay? So that's $621. Are you paying that today, or do you need a payment plan?
Did you take, Honorable Craig Jennings, did you take an oath to the Constitution?
Yes, but we're not going to talk about that now. I need to conclude this hearing because I have an
Finally.
in-custody matter that I have to go deal with. My question to you is very direct, sir. Are you going to pay the $621 today, or do you need a payment plan?
If I wish to appeal, do I need to pay that today?
There's a process, a notice of appeal that you can file. I'm going to mark that you're paying that today. If you're not going to pay it today by 6, we can set up that payment plan for you. We just have to add a one-time $20 time payment fee, which is required by law. Now, Yadi's going to give you a copy of this document, the judgment and sentence order. She's also going to give you a document regarding your appeal rights and your appeal process. Please pay attention to that document if you wish to appeal the court's decision today. There are several things that you must do. First, and you're going to sign for it, and we're going to give you a copy of it. First, you have to file what's called a notice of appeal. That's a notice you can get up at our front counter. It has to be filed in this court within 14 days after today's court date. Secondly, there are requirements that are listed in the paperwork that you must complete. And then lastly, you must meet those requirements by the deadlines, the timelines listed in the paperwork. If you fail or neglect to complete any one of those 3 steps, you would be giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Not all the way, but I can read it on the form, I guess.
Okay, she'll give you that document. Thank you both for being here. Please go off the record.
I thought you said you were going to allow me to say one last thing on the record.
Oh, okay, what did you want to say?
I wanted to actually pray. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Okay, yeah, he wanted to pray after, so yeah. I have 2 things real quick. 2 things real quick that I want to show you. One is going to make Jonathan probably more upset because it just happened today and we've been talking about it a little bit. Something that I just posted. Posts. All right. Let me share my screen again and then we can show this and then move to something else. Ah, there it is. Let's do it that way. Perfect. My stalker is apparently wanting my... Oh, that didn't work. Apparently, my stalker wants my daughter to get cancer, which is weird. That's that post. And because this guy said something about gold and silver, I want to pull this up because while I was transferring stuff from my laptop to this PC, I rediscovered something that I haven't seen in quite a long time. But you guys will get a kick out of it. There we go. Maybe? Are you going to let me scroll? Probably not. Ah, there we go. All right. So this is something that happened. I want to share. Bang. This is something that happened in 2023, a sovereign citizen sent me a cease and desist. So I turned around and did exactly the same thing, but to him, and he ultimately deleted his channel, which I think is hilarious. He tried to copyright strike my video and then sent me a cease and desist. So this was to Kareem Bey. And I said, it has been determined that you are currently committing libel/other shenanigans. Accordance with 18 U.S.C. Code 241 and 242, conspiracy against rights / deprivation of rights under color of law. Also breaking the Treaty of Peace and Friendship. I kind of proud that I threw that on there. We have found this taking place in this email chain and by knowingly filing a false copyright strike on YouTube. Accordingly, we demand that you immediately cease and desist and stop further communication and shenanigans, including any other false strikes. Otherwise, you can be sued for statutory damages as high as $10 million, payable in only gold and silver, set forth in Section 504(c)(2) therein. Furthermore, we demand that you immediately cease acting a fool. If we have not received an affirmative response from you by the 19th day of January 2023, I think this was like a day or two before mine was set to expire, indicating that you have fully complied with these requirements, I shall consider taking legal or any and all legal remedies available to rectify the situation. Sincerely, me. And I downloaded that's not my thumbprint, but it's a red in blood thumbprint. And like I said, he deleted his channel. I was very, very proud of that one. But that's it, guys. Yeah, that's it. Is anybody live right now that I can send you guys to? Let me check real quick. Let me check. Otherwise, I am going to go paint my second bathroom. I like to start projects. Mrs. Kfar actually made fun of me today or yesterday. I like to start projects right before holidays that I am struggling to get done. So I ripped all the wallpaper off of the bathroom walls today or yesterday, and I have to paint them today. And we have Thanksgiving with like 20 people on Thursday. So it's going to be great. Let's see here. I don't think Mark is live still. Dear Lord, Mark is live still? All right, looks like we're going to go to Mark. I have to mop the front porch. I have to do more than just paint, but well, here, that's what I'll do. If you guys want to go to Mark, go to Mark. GS was going to go live on his gaming channel, Subpar Gaming. If you want to go watch that, I'm pretty sure you're going to be playing like Magic the Gathering and watching something. So if you guys want to go watch that with him, both are great channels. Go hang out with them. I am going to just, go do housework because that's that. All right. I'm out of here. Everybody have a good rest of your day. Bye.